Yes. I have got to get down there for a game, damn it.
Was this like a rave?
Nah, they start out with Space Odyssey, and then it goes into this, and the whole crowd's yelling USC. And South Carolina may not be much, but damn it, they do it right.
Fight on?
Huh?
Fight on?
South Carolina?
Wrong USC.
No, this is the podunk one, not that Hollywood stuff. All right, 3 o'clock. If you want the Micah Parsons stuff, we gave you an hour on it, just like we finished yesterday's show with it. We do want to get to college football. Why? We have actual games to talk about. So I wanted to do it this way. Michigan and Michigan State, in building a best case and worst case for each team. Okay, let's get the smart-ass stuff out of the way. Yes, the worst case for each team could be 0-12. Yeah, okay, and an apocalypse and a meteor hitting a stadium. Let's leave that aside. That within reason, what is the worst-case scenario for each of these teams? And then within reason, not a dream sequence, but within reason, the best case. And I want to talk through it, and certainly I want you guys to grab a line and let's get involved on it. I mean, do you want to start with Michigan or do you want to start with Michigan State? Let's just go from there. And look, Kenny is his, normal snooty SEC help. Can provide. Well, listen, the Big Ten didn't do us any favors with the way they played last night. The offenses from Nebraska, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Rutgers. Good God.
Rutgers scored.
They blocked a punt. I'm just making a point. Come on.
And they faked the punt, too.
Come on. Really?
Okay.
If only it meant more.
Okay, then. Let's start with Michigan. And, David, you were clairvoyant. You had them pegged last year. I was too optimistic with Michigan. So I would like to start with you. Let's use David as the North Star.
Okay.
Best case for Michigan, worst case for Michigan. And I need reasons.
The best case for Michigan is, and not trying to be funny here, Bryce Underwood is Trevor Lawrence, and they win 10 games. That is the best case scenario.
10-2. Okay.
The worst case scenario is he's a freshman, and they win 7. I think that's the worst case scenario, that he's a freshman. They try to use him like he's really something, and he just turns the ball over a lot, and he just looks like a freshman, and they struggle, and they win 7 games.
I think he looked at my notes.
I did not.
I have the exact same best worst. I think their best case is 10 wins. I do think they're losing to Ohio State, and I do think they're losing to Oklahoma. Their best case, 10-2. I think the Oklahoma game is just too early in the schedule. But I think there's absolutely the ability to lose at Nebraska or lose against State or drop a game you just can't fathom. Why? Because you have a freshman quarterback. But best case, 10 wins, worst case, 7. Yeah. Thanks, David. Wow. Thanks for stealing my notes.
Okay.
Well, the thing about the Nebraska game to me is, and I'm not saying Nebraska's this, great team.
Woefully unimpressed.
Correct. I was as well. But it is the very first
road
Big Ten game that Bryce Underwood will be in. That matters. That really matters. And if you look like a freshman, well, you lose that game.
All right. Best case, worst case for Michigan. Rico.
I got the best case, Mike, at 11-1. That Bryce Underwood is that guy. He's the best freshman we've ever seen.
Okay.
I think you lose at Oklahoma. Moment may be a little too big, but you know what? Make it 5 or 6 in a row over the Buckeyes, and you keep steamrolling them.
Okay. So, Rico, 11 wins. What's the worst case?
Worst case, let me do the math real quick. Worst case, I have them at 5-7.
Whoa! Holy hell!
That's
volatile.
What? Best case is 11-1. I didn't get that reaction for that.
No, because it made sense. I mean, I think it's a little out there, but it made sense. It's 5. What happens?
5-7 is Bryce Underwood is like every other true freshman quarterback. Makes a lot of mistakes.
So he turns into Dante Moore and he throws 5 pick sixes.
Yeah, you know what? In and out of games.
All right.
You got to play. You lose at Oklahoma, and then you'll go to Nebraska without your head coach. So that's maybe another loss.
5-11.
Yeah.
David is 7-10. Kenny, best case, worst case, U of M.
Best case, I also have 10 wins. He could be good enough where, he's a complete unknown, right? So he could be good enough to get you there. My worst case was just a little less than David. It was 6. It wasn't quite 5. But he could be bad enough because he's a freshman that he's actively costing them games they should win. And if that's the case, I'm not 5 wins bad yet, but I think 6 is, right there for me.
If their schedule wasn't so easy, I would be able to work my way there. I just truly think the bottom would be 7. That even if he's well below average, overwhelmed, they can lean on the ground game. The defense can carry the day. And they really, look.
But you also have to figure in the fact that it's like the first time in 100 years they don't have 8 home games either. So he's going to have to go on the road.
How do they survive? All right, so there are our best and worst case. Now let's do Michigan State. Best and worst, we start with Rico.
Hold on.
Oh, boy. All right, I'll go to Kenny. We'll get back to Rico. He's tabulating.
Best case for me, I'll say, I'm not trying to be too positive here, but I also want to set it like a guardrail for myself so I don't go crazy. I'll say 9 wins. Best case, 9 wins.
What comes along with that?
What do you mean?
Like, give me some color with that. Like, how do I arrive at 9 wins? Is Plaxico Burress coming back to school?
Well, no. I think if Jonathan Smith does what you wanted him to do and the players that he recruited and everybody, it all has to work as one. And that's still not saying 10 wins. That's still not saying a playoff victory, but you're a massive jump. And that's what you've asked from Jonathan Smith, is it not?
Yes. Okay, 9-3 is the best case. What is the worst case?
See,
say it with your chest.
I don't want to upset you.
You're not. I have no feelings towards my team.
I'll say worst case 5 wins.
Okay.
And by the way, neither of these are my prediction, so that nobody goes crazy at me in the Sparty Nation.
We're doing best case, worst case. None of this is like quotable.
Are you kidding me? Because the only people heard was you said they're going to go 5-7.
See, what I'm looking at, though, is for both of these teams, though, it's year 1 of a quarterback, a freshman quarterback, and year 2 of a new head coach. So it's very volatile for me. It could go either way.
David, best and worst.
Best for Michigan State, and I really tried to go through this because I didn't want to be crazy. 7 wins.
Best?
7 wins would be the best.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of 50-50s there that I'm just leaning towards the other team.
All right, worst case.
5. Worst case would be 5.
All right, David is basically saying they are gum at the bottom of a shoe. Thank you for that. Rico.
I'm not trying to say that.
No. David, there are a lot of 50-50 games, but in best case scenario, kind of like the Lions last year, you win the coin toss.
I can't say 9, though. I cannot say 9.
I'm going to say, just like I said for the University of Michigan, best case scenario, they win all their 50-50 games. They lose to Penn State. They're 11-1. Worst case scenario, they lose all their 50-50 games.
So they're beating Michigan in the best case scenario in your mind.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Because
yeah. And the worst case is what?
Worst case scenario, they lose all their 50-50 games, and they're sitting there at 4-8.
Okay, so my best and worst, I had the same one for Michigan. I think 10-2 is best case. I think 7-5 is worst. MSU, best case, best. Aiden Childs blossoms into a superstar, and a lot of these no-names that they got in the portal can actually play. Best case, 9-3. Worst case, 5-7, and I bulldoze the building.
Right,
because there's a very real chance it just doesn't work.
Right, but Mike, when you look at their schedule, there are a ton of 50-50 games.
I also don't think the Big Ten's any good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You win all your 50-50 games.
I'm starting to sound like Kenny.
That's their best case to me.
But it's not good. Like, I don't look, freshman quarterback or not, or MSU or not, like, I'm sorry. Watching Wisconsin last night or Rutgers or Minnesota. No, those are not games you lose. These are not good football teams, damn it. I don't care. I don't care if Sister Jean is starting for State. You don't lose those games. Wheel her ass out there.
Like I said, man. They win all their 50-50 games. I got both teams at 11-1, best case scenario.
The worst case, the bottom falls out 4-8.
They're 4-8.
So basically, State is far more volatile.
Yes.
David's is interesting because MSU is in this 5, 6, 7 category.
Oh, they can't win, regardless of David. Even in the 50-50 games, they're still losing.
What is your best case and worst case for your team?
I got your team at 11-1, David.
As a best case.
Yeah, as a best case.
Hater. Why not 12-0? 248-539-9797.
Because I just don't think that first road game will be a victory for him.
What do you have your team at this fall, guys? Michigan State, best and worst case scenarios. State plays tonight, Michigan plays tomorrow night. Obviously, God help us if either team lost. It's just about the variance levels. As Kenny put it, second year of Jonathan Smith and Aiden Childs, and assumed uptick, Bryce Underwood could be anything. He could be even a mystery box. So it's just variance.
But yeah, I think in your best case, you still beat Ohio State because Ryan Dale's an idiot and he'll lose and get fired.
Wow. 248-539-9797.
How many pros did he have last year and he lost?
I just liked that you straight up called him an idiot. I mean, it was just, no, nothing. You just got right to it.